We'd like to encourage renters who do not have renter's insurance to visit our website, eldoks.com, as we have a grant opportunity to help you get renter's insurance. Renter's insurance is very important because in the event that El Dorado would be hit by a tornado or other significant natural disaster and your rental unit was destroyed or damaged, if you are not insured, then you will lose all of the value of your possessions. Renter's insurance will insure you against those damages, and we have an opportunity for a grant. If you are a renter and do not have renter's insurance, the Central Kansas Community Foundation has a renter's insurance grant that you can apply for to obtain funds to get a renter's insurance policy. All you have to do is go to the city's website, and there will be instructions on how to apply for that grant. The deadline is June 30th, which is not very long from now, so make sure that you quickly go to the city's website, get that information, and apply so that you can get funds for a renter's insurance policy to protect yourself. Well, it's summertime, and as I mentioned before, the farmers market is back in full swing. The first farmers market was at North Main Park, but we have this important announcement. The farmers market is moving from North Main Park to East Park. Why? Well, it's because we have a whole lot more vendors and there's just simply not enough room and parking to accommodate all the folks that want to go down to the farmers market. So come on down to East Park on Sunday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and check out the selections from over 30 vendors at the farmers market. You won't want to miss it. And while they didn't have a whole lot of produce, as we get later on in the summer months, I'm told there'll be more produce selection for you to choose from. I'd also like to share with you all the recommendation that will be provided to the City Commission with respect to the upcoming sales tax ballot question that will likely be on the November general election ballot. The Sales Tax Committee has been meeting over the last several months to review the existing sales tax and to make recommendations on potential changes to that sales tax. The Sales Tax Committee on Monday met for the final time this year and made a recommendation to the City Commission that they will share with the City Commission at Monday's regular meeting. I thought I'd give you a preview of what that looks like so you can understand kind of where the sales tax conversation will be going in the upcoming several weeks. The recommendation from the Sales Tax Committee is to change the sales tax cycle from a 5-year to a 10-year cycle, which means that the next election, assuming that this will be moved forward, will be 2034. The second change that the Sales Tax Committee is recommending is increasing the dollars that are allocated to street maintenance from $600,000 a year to $900,000 a year. So prioritizing and putting more dollars to our street maintenance program. The third recommendation the Sales Tax Committee is making is to include percentage-based levers for the sales tax allocation formula. Now, what does this mean and what does it look like? Well, right now, the first tier of sales tax dollars goes to property tax reduction, and right now that's allocated at $1.65 million. Then we have $600,000 that goes to street maintenance, and then we have $100,000 that goes to economic development, and then everything else goes to the excess sales tax program. How the percentage-based levers will work is that we will still have $1.65 million goes to property tax reduction, although it will also say, or 58%, whichever is greater. In addition, $900,000 under the new recommendation will go to street maintenance, or 32%, whichever is greater. And then finally, $100,000 will go to economic development, or 4%, whichever is greater. Now, why is this important? Well, in the last few years, the city's sales tax receipts have actually been increasing at a pretty good rate. And because these numbers are set by ordinance and they are basically locked in as far as the allocations go, there's more money that goes to the excess sales tax dollars, and the dollars that are allocated for specific priorities like property tax reduction, street maintenance, and economic development stay the same. Invariably, what this means is that those dollars actually don't go as far as they once did. So for example, street dollars at $600,000, while it sounds like a lot of money, is it the same amount of money that was assigned to the street maintenance fund or street maintenance dollars in 1990. Just to give you an idea of what that means, today it would take about $1.2 million in 1990 money to do the same amount of streets that we do today. So that's because of inflation and the increase of street maintenance materials and labor and things like that. So by assigning a percentage to the system, what that allows is as sales tax goes up, these dollar amounts will also increase. And because it's or whichever is greater, we also put a basement or a cap on the minimum amount of money that will be spent if sales tax were to go down. We'll have more information about this in the coming weeks as we get closer to the general election, but we thought we'd get this information out so that you could understand what the recommendation is, and so that we can begin to have a conversation in the community about what that looks like for the long-term effect of the sales tax. One other thing I'd like to address real briefly is the fact that the public has been inconvenienced by the railroad crossing on North Main, as well as the railroad crossing on 6th Avenue that will be shut down this weekend. While the city understands that that is very inconvenient for those crossings to be closed, we want the public to understand that the city did not really have a role in those closures. The Union Pacific Railroad is currently doing railroad maintenance, and unfortunately we don't have really a lot of oversight over their railroad maintenance work. They selected these two crossings to be done, and we worked with them and KDOT to get those crossings, those maintenance projects started and completed as quickly as possible so that the inconvenience can be minimized to the community to the greatest extent possible. So while we understand that it is an inconvenience, we do want the public to know and understand that we did everything we could to keep those schedules as tight as we possibly could in working with the railroad and with KDOT too. The good news is there'll be very quick closures, and then it will be back to business as normal. North Main will be opened up by the weekend, and 6th Avenue will be opened up by Monday, so that traffic patterns can return back to normal. So one last reminder, the Farmers Market East Park this Sunday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Check it out. We'll see you there, and have a great weekend. Hey, one thing I forgot on Things to Know this week is KDOT, in partnership with several local governments along the K254 corridor, is going to be hosting an open house for the K254 corridor management study. So KDOT is inviting the public to attend an open house, which will be held on June 27th, which is a Tuesday, from 5:30 to 7 p.m. They're especially interested in people that travel along the K254 corridor. So if you have some input or concerns about the corridor, you are very much invited to attend this open house, which will again be Tuesday, June 27th from 5:30 to 7 p.m. at the Circle Middle School in Benton. Also at that meeting, they're going to unveil a public website which will provide an opportunity for the public to provide input via surveys, and stay tuned to the project as it maneuvers through its scheduled timeline. So make sure that you program some time if you're interested in the K254 corridor and you have concerns about its current functionality, as I know a lot of people in El Dorado utilize that corridor to get to different places in our area. So again, June 27th, 5:30 to 7 at the Circle Middle School in Benton.